What is the price of uncertainty? Last quarter, the S&P 500 lost 4.5%, which was its worst performance in 2 years. Worse yet was tech, which sold off 8%. This performance was not global. International stocks rose almost as much as the S&P 500 fell. And that is because international stocks rallied on the backs of their governments, believing that they would have to prepare for war. Where is all this uncertainty coming from? In the United States, we've heard lots of news about tariffs, and that is part of it. But there's all sorts of other economic problems on the horizon in the form of inflation and possibly even joblessness, which looks like stagflation. This creates an environment where the consumer is worried about spending. Consumer expectations of their economic health have been dropping considerably this year. When we look at the segments, the worst hit right now is the wealthy 1% consumer because they are driving 2/3 of our GDP. Another 20% of our GDP comes from business spending. And businesses also don't have much certainty. So they're reducing their earnings expectations, which is then reducing their stock valuations, which in turn causes people at the wealthier end of the spectrum to see their portfolios decline and cut their spending, creating a vicious cycle. So you might ask, what are we doing? When I speak to clients, when I speak to the press, they also want to know what should they be doing. So a couple of things. We remain diversified, and our diversifiers did very well last quarter. Gold particularly stood out with a 20% gain last quarter. Additionally, we've started adding in a bear spread trade, which we've called the insurance trade. This trade profits when the market goes down. So the combination of diversification plus this insurance trade is the antidote for uncertainty. We thank you for your business, and we welcome your questions or comments.